Welcome back. Hopefully you have your hexagon ready to go. If not, if it's not all glued together, you might want to go back to the previous slide and watch that video, because we do need a hexagon and we have to give it dry time so that it's going to hold up nice and strong like we're seeing here. Okay, basically what we're going to do is we're going to turn this into something that looks maybe like this, or like this, or like what we're seeing here. It's just going to be kind of cool. Cool web design. You're going to be able to add beads to it. It's going to turn out pretty neat. So here we go. Go ahead and grab your hexagon. Pick out whatever colors of yarn you might want to add to it. We got some beads, but if you have other stuff at home, other beads or objects that you could add to the yarn, feel free to grab those as well. Make this yours. You are the artist, so create it as you think is going to look best. All right. So step number one, we've been getting lots of practice all week long with tying, haven't we? We are building this skill. It's amazing. So we're going to want to get our yarn ready to go. To do a wrapping or yarn maze that looks like about like this, or like that, we're going to want like 3 to 4 wingspans. If you remember from a couple clubs ago, we said that if you were a bird, these would be your wings, right? Like this. So this from here to here, that is your wingspan. So I'm going to grab my yarn in this hand, and then I'm going to pull the yarn all the way over. Here's one wingspan. I'm going to pinch it from here and pull it. Oh, it fell. Let me get that. That might happen to you too. Here's 2 wingspans. Now your wingspans are probably a little bit shorter than mine, since I'm a tall grown-up, and you are still growing. So I might get more like 2.5 to 3, but you guys go ahead and do 3 to 4 wingspans worth of your first color of yarn, and we'll give that a snip. All right. Next, we're going to need to tie it onto our hexagon. So pick any spot. Pick a spot, any spot. Whoop. My yarn's being a little sassy today. Oh my goodness. Okay. So here we go. We're going to tie that knot just like we've been doing. You can see I've looped it around my popsicle stick. I am going to do the same thing we've been doing, but I want to make sure this is going to make life a little easier. Remember how we always want to take the string that's on the underside and pull that into the circle? Well, this side is nice and short. This side, however, is super long. So I'm going to intentionally put the shorter side on the underneath. This is going to make life a little easier for our next step, right? So we've got our X. Now we're going to put the shorter side, the underneath one, into the middle. We come from underneath our circle to grab it. There we go. And we pull. So it's a lot easier to do that with the short side of the string than to try to lace that whole longer side through. So there we go. Now we've got a single knot. Yay, good job. But we need a double knot, don't we? So it's nice and strong. We want a strong knot. So here we go. I'm making my X again and making sure that the shorter one, if it's on top, like this, it's going to be really hard to put all this length through there. So I'm just going to swap them and put this on the underside. Okay, now we put the end in the middle of the circle. I come from under the circle to grab it. And we pull. It's making that like pretzel shape, right? We pull, pull, pull to make our double knot. And of course, if you've got an at-home mentor there and you need a little extra assistance, absolutely ask them. That is okay. Just like any other skill. If we're new to knot tying, it's going to take lots of practice, right? Just like playing the piano or shooting a basketball or anything like that is going to take some extra skill level. So we want to, give ourselves some grace and some patience and just know that it's going to take a little time. But you're practicing, and that's what matters. So keep it up. Of course, if at any point during this video you need to pause to catch up, or you need to rewind and watch it again, please do so. All right, I'm going to put just a little bit of glue on that knot just to make sure that it holds. It should be okay, but you know what? Sometimes when I'm making really cool fancy projects like this, I don't want to have to worry about it coming undone. So just a little extra support, and we'll clip off that end, and here we go. So the hardest part is done. Now we get to have some fun. I'm going to take my yarn, I'm just going to kind of gather it up. I gotta find the end. Oh my goodness. Here it is. So I'm just going to kind of gather it up in my hand here. I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm literally just making a clump of yarn. Just helps to keep it all together. There we go. So I've just got a clump of yarn. The reason it's easier for this is then I can kind of take it all together, and I'm just going to wrap it around the stick a few times. It's creating this kind of cool effect when we do that. So I'm just going around a few times, pull it a little tight along the way. Then whenever you think like, yeah, that looks like enough, there is no set number, but whenever you think it looks good, go ahead and send it across. You know, it doesn't have to be straight across, it could be at an angle, but send it across your hexagon and do the same thing again. Wrap it around a few times. Maybe I come from this side even. Give it a little tug to hold it in place better. There we go. So I'm just wrapping it around a few times to kind of help hold that string in place. Once I think it looks good, I'm going to send it across again. So maybe I send it to this one or to that one. You never want to send it like right next door to the popsicle stick that it's touching, but you know, any of the other three across from it should work. So maybe this time I go straight across. Once again, I'm going to want to wrap it around. I can go from either side of the string, kind of give it little tugs so it stays nice and tight. Okay, so now maybe I bring it over, maybe I bring it to this one. You can choose each time. Give it a little tug. Oops, my bundles come in unbundled. So, and if you need an extra set of hands, don't be afraid to ask your at-home mentor to help hold things. I'm going to send it across again, maybe over to this side now. We'll wrap it around. And of course, you probably saw in my other ones that I've got some beads on it. I'm going to show you that in just a second once we've got a good idea of how to do this part. So here we go. I think now is a good time. We can start showing how to add these beads. So to add the beads, we are going to have to unbundle our bundle. So here we go. Now it's unbundled. And maybe I want to add 2 to start. So I'm just going to put my yarn through the hole of the bead. Once again, if you need your at-home mentor to help with that part, don't be afraid to ask, right? We're all learning. It's all part of the process. So here's another one. Put 2 through. I'm just kind of lacing it on. Okay, now I'm going to pick again. Where do I want to send this? Maybe now I send it here. And I could bundle it again, right? Now it's kind of all over the place, so I might bundle it again. There we go. And we pull it through. And it's the same thing over and over. Like this is, you know, just because there's a bead on it doesn't mean that the process is any different. We literally just added a bead. Maybe I want to add another bead to it. I'm going to open the bundle up again. I think that it's best to do the beads kind of towards the end when the string isn't quite as long as it was when we first started. Oh, look it made a star. How fun is that? I did not even intend for that. All right. So I'm going to send it across this way now. Oh, my bundle came undone. I'm just going to bring it around. Let me bundle it back up here a few times before I send it into the next direction. I'm going to do this a few more times here. And then I'll show you how to tie the end off. All right, I'm gonna add, I'll do one more bead here, unbundling. And of course, if you find that your yarn is too long, you can always cut it shorter too, right? That is absolutely a-okay. So I just added another bead. Where do I want to go next? Maybe over here? Bundle that back up. And put it on through. Wrap it around a few times so it holds its place. Give it a nice little tug so it stays tight. Maybe one more. Okay, I'm going to send it across one more time. Where do I want to go this time? Maybe here? Or there? Or there? Maybe there? Yeah, I'm going to go here. So this time I am going to cut it a little shorter because I do have quite a bit left. And I am going to cut it this time. Or I'm going to like finish it. So we're going to cut that off. While we're at it, I'm just going to add one more bead. Why not? Just for fun. One more bead added. There we go. So I'm going to do the same thing. Now this knot might be a little bit trickier than the first one. So if you want to have your at-home mentor nearby, not a bad idea. Get it? Not a bad idea? That was terrible. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm using this and the string that just came in this direction. So this one here, that's what I'm going to be making my X with. Okay? I'm going to have to make sure that I put it underneath the other one. But essentially, you can see we've got our X there, don't we? Doop, doop. There it is. And it's the same thing. We put our end into the middle. We come from underneath and we give a pull. There is our single knot. I'm going to do the same thing again. Remember that we have to put this string, because this one we can't put it into the middle, right? It's connected. So this one's going to have to be the one that's underneath. We've got our X. We put the end into the middle. And we pull, pull, pull nice and tight to make our double knot once again. Once again, I'm going to add a little bit of glue just to help hold that. And I would probably usually wait until my glue is dry before I do this step, but I know I'm not going to move it around too much right now, so I'm going to just snip that off. There we go. Now, you can leave it like this. It is done, right? You did it. It looks amazing. So cool. Or if you wanted to, you could add another color. Now I know this is a whole different one, but you could see what it kind of looks like with multiple colors on it. That could be kind of cool to add another color of yarn. And then also, if you wanted to, you can get out some markers or glitter glue or whatever you've got at home. And if you wanted to decorate the wooden part of your sticks, you could do that as well. Maybe you've got some cool stickers or you want to write your name on it. You go ahead, you're the artist, so add your own creative flair to it. And then of course, just like always, whenever you're done, I'm going to want to see how cool this is. So please be sure to add it on in to our Hall of Frame. So click on that link in our Club Hub and you can claim your frame by putting in your name down below. And then it just takes a few seconds. We come up to where it says Insert Image. And I think the easiest way is to just use your Chromebook camera, but there's a whole bunch of other ways too, right? But when the camera pops up, you'll hold up your beautiful artwork. If you want your face in there too, you can, but otherwise just on a plain background, and hit capture. It'll automatically put your lovely picture on in there, and we can appreciate all the amazingness that is your artwork. So add your work to the Hall of Frame. I cannot wait to see how these turn out. We'll see you next time.